Hi everyone and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 23rd of October 2018. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Now, last week the channel had the benefactor Erin who sent me 3 tarot decks for my birthday. But not only that, I mean, having one benefactor in itself is wonderful enough. But on top of that, this week the amazing and unbelievable Vanessa has sent me 8 tarot decks, and all of them are really new and current, and I haven't used any of them before. So, Vanessa, thank you so much. It's such a boon to this channel that I get to use all of these cool new decks, and oh, I just love it. So, Vanessa, thank you so much. This deck looks lovely, so this is the one I wanted to start with. I've always been an Alice in Wonderland fan. I saw the film when I was a small child. The Mad Hatter's Tea Party always really appealed to me because I just felt those two were my people. When she got to the Mad Hatter's Tea Party, I was like, if I got there, I would stay. And I would belong. Those two. Let me just open this. Come on. Wow. Okay. I love the Cheshire Cat. Let me just show you some of the cards. So we have the Fool. Oh, look at that. Aren't these glorious? A dodo. Oh my goodness. These are absolutely stupendous and glorious cards. So, Vanessa, I am beyond grateful. Thank you so much. And you're not just helping me here by sending me all these decks. You're helping everyone who watches, because we get to watch the coolest and newest tarot cards. So that's a whole new dimension to the daily readings now. That, like, I'm using really trendy cards, which this is a good time for the daily tarot readings, and I'm really grateful. So let's have a look at what the energy is about today and what you'll be working with. A couple more shuffles. Okay. So first card, we have the Lovers, the Ten of Swords, which is the opposite of the Lovers, or the Lovers gone bad. Oh, and then we have the Tower on top of that as well. Okay. So, there is real upheaval today and real chaos potentially. So let's have a look at what each of these beautiful cards mean. First of all, the Lovers. The Lovers is usually 2 people standing together, and between them they create an angel. It's when, true love occurs. It's a blissful angelic state that is a miracle and nothing else compares. Here in this deck we have Alice saying no thank you to the tray of cupcakes that this poor fellow is holding. And the Queen of Hearts is saying, go and do something. Go and fetch something else. I don't love what I'm getting. So in this case, the Lovers here is, who's loving who? No one. The Queen certainly doesn't love him. She loves herself. She loves whatever she's able to provide. Doesn't love Alice. Alice loves neither of them. So it's a bit chaotic and a little bit all over the place, really. So love is going to be hard to figure out if I'm going to be literal about this symbolic interpretation of the card, which is what I always do. So there may be matters of the heart that you don't quite get or that you don't quite understand. So instead of getting a middleman to do your dirty work, get rid of the middleman in your relationship and really have an honest discussion. And if the Queen and Alice were to have a discussion, it wouldn't last very long. It would probably be, hello, dear Queen. And she'd say, off with your head. And that would be it. Because she's not the nicest, is she? The Queen of Hearts. So, careful in love, or certainly expect emotional upheavals in your love life, in your romantic life. And those upheavals are going to make you feel really awful. The Ten of Swords is really rock bottom. And it's really kind of, every sword represents a negative thought. And the suit of swords is the element of air. It has to do with thinking, inspiration, making decisions, making plans, using your intellect for good. And here we've got poor Humpty Dumpty. He's fallen off the wall, and all the king's horses couldn't put him back together again. And here we've got the swords to just make sure Humpty Dumpty is never reassembled, just to ensure that the different pieces are skewered and stuck to the ground. And that is what the Ten of Swords is, the dissolution of identity. The complete defeat of who you are and what you've tried to do and everything that you've tried to achieve. The sun is setting on you. It's over. You've crashed and broken like Humpty Dumpty, and it's all gone to smithereens. Finally, we have the tower, and the tower is usually literally a tower, and it explodes and people fall off. In this case, we have Alice confronting the Queen of Hearts and saying, I'm not having any of this bullying anymore. And she punches the table and everything goes flying, and there are fireworks, and there's a real spectacular kind of fall from grace for the Queen of Hearts. And it's Alice who takes power back, and the power shift is very tangible, and it changes. So what's very interesting is that unassuming little Alice at the beginning of the day is making problems. She's saying, I don't love this. I don't love what's not lovable. So you're being true to yourself. So it may be that you are asked by a partner to accept the unacceptable. You know, sometimes your partner expects you to be on their side even when they're wrong. And that's sometimes one of those different couples decide differently on that. But it's very likely that you're going to see something in other people today that is confusing or that you don't love, and you're going to put your hand up to that and say, I don't want to get involved. That will then elicit a huge emotional response. How dare you judge us? How dare you say you don't want to be part of this? Who do you think you are? Total guilt trip, manipulation, major attack by the people who you say no to. If you're putting down boundaries today and say, I'm not going to have this chaos and screaming and running around and people betraying each other and this drama. For example, you're staying at my house. I am not having this. Behave or leave. And that's putting a boundary in place, and that's saying, I don't love what I'm seeing here. You trashing my house. Please do it differently. That way we can get on. The response, like I said, isn't going to be pleasant. Instead of saying, okay, we'll fall in line, it's going to be, well, how dare you tell us what to do? We're going to trash it on top of what you've told us to do. We're going to, out of spite, now really ruin the place and really party it up and really trash everything that you wanted us to keep in good shape and in good orderly manner and fashion and all of that stuff. And that's going to be a real attack on you. But because you then get attacked back in such an excessive way, because the thing is really, you're right. All you're saying is, I don't like what's happening here. please, rather would not get involved with what's going on. And if the other person had respect for you, they'd say, okay, fair enough, you don't want to be involved. But they don't do that. They say, she didn't want to be involved, let's crush her. And because they did that, and you're like, okay, they tried to destroy me, I'm not playing anymore either. I'm going to really hit back, and now you tested me, and I'm going to take you down. I'm going to destroy you. So if anyone screws with you today, they've really had it, because your patience is thin. You're going to stand up for yourself. You're going to assert yourself. And what you want is stability and structure and some sort of order. And what you're likely to face is a situation which is unacceptable to you and chaotic, and which creates a lot of upheaval, and it's unpleasant. And it potentially provokes you to the extent where you can really blow things up. But I really think this is for the best. This is the tower at when we need the tower, because the tower is part of life. The tower is sometimes essential. You can't get a better job until you leave the negative job. You can't have a great relationship until you blow up the relationship that wasn't so good to begin with. Alice and the Queen were never going to get on. They were never going to be besties. I mean, just generationally, what do they have in common? Nothing. What are they going to talk about if they become besties? So this lovers situation was never meant to be anyway. So rather than trying to fix things today, if someone attacks you or really tries one on you, hit back, or at least defend yourself, and you'll really be able to understand what your position is with that other person. So the people who cause problems in your life today, they're showing you who they are, and it's really time that you believe them. Because why should you keep feeling like this? Why should you destroy your own kind of sense of identity and your own belief system and make yourself smaller just to fit into a relationship that doesn't serve you anyway? Blow it up, step back into your own power, say, get lost. I want to be free. I want to go home. I just want things to be my way, and no more pretending. Boom, I'm out of this. And that's a really clear boundary. So we're not just having a boundary then anymore, we're having a cut and a break. So be aware that if someone then hits back at you because you say no, and they hit back even harder and you then nuke them at the end, that if you're in a relationship and that happens in your relationship today, potentially the relationship could end, the romantic relationship. So be careful today if you're in a romantic relationship, and if you're borderline and you're trying to save it, if things really kick off today, then that's a symbol for you that you're not in the right relationship. If you're in a relationship that's, also undefined yet, or a little bit on the fence, and things don't kick off today, then you know that relationship has some hope to it and that you can continue to work on it. If you're not in a relationship, if you're just going to work, and if other people are telling you to do things, to sign contracts, or to participate in activities that you're really not comfortable with, and you get fired as a result, and you really say, well, I'm taking you to a tribunal because you're asking me to missell products to customers, and I'm not doing that, and I'm going to the financial services ombudsman, and screw you, I'm not doing this anymore. So fine, I'll lose my job, but I'm not going to do what's not right. So it's a tough day in the sense of I assert myself because I have to, because it's just ridiculous what you're doing. And unfortunately, you really get a harsh response. But the good news is that you're stronger than the harsh response, and you really win. And it's a day to learn how to be assertive. It's a day of naturally being assertive. So remember what this feels like. I love how the light is now illuming the fireworks and the little flies that are free. to go. So that's what happens. Fireworks, freedom, and maybe even discovering someone new during all of this drama. And knowing who your friends are and the people who support you during this. 6 and 10 is 16. And another 16 is 32, isn't it? 3 and 2 is 5, and 5 is about freedom. So it's good that something ends today. The fireworks are necessary because you need freedom from a relationship that's toxic or unhealthy, so you can make space for a relationship that's actually good for you, that's less chaotic, and that doesn't drive you to the brink of, other people can drive us, and they can, they can make us behave in ways that really we're not comfortable with. And at times it's really important that we say, hang on a minute, I'm not doing this, even though you expect me to. No, I'm not doing it. So you have the personal freedom to choose today whether you continue with something that you dislike, or you really have the power to win and leave and get out of it with your head held high and really vindicated. So I hope you have it's certainly not going to be a boring day. I hope you have a great day, a very empowering day. If you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab to audio reading. Please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.